morning, everyone, and welcome to Creative Moments by G. We are so happy that you have stopped by today. We have a terrific design using the new stamp set from the annual catalog. Let's head down to the crafting table and let me show you all the stamp sets we'll be using today. Okay, we will be using flowering blooms. We're also going to use this beautiful stamp set. It's for a background and it's called Dry Brush. You'll see how pretty it is. We're going to use the die set to cut out that beautiful flower because we certainly don't want to fussy cut that, right? And then we're going to use our layering ovals to cut out a part on the front of our card that actually makes it look like it's floating just a little bit. Let me show you the card that we're going to make in a different color. Look at this. Isn't that flower beautiful? And we kind of did a monochrome. We used Magenta Madness. We stamped it again with Magenta Madness, but then we used a blend to coordinate our colors here. And when you open it up, we have our beautiful flower here from the stamp set. And don't you love that font? Now, as you notice here, we didn't finish the inside, but we will be finishing the inside on this particular card. What do you need? Well, you need to get you an A2 card. You also need a couple of mats. You will also need a layering mat on the inside of your card. You will need a 1 inch by 3 3/4 inch for the front sentiment. And then, of course, you're going to need a mat to stamp your flower. So let's move this to the side and let's stamp this beautiful flower. So let's go ahead and stamp our flower. Now, I'm going to use a technique where we use our daubers to cover these leaves in green. And for that, we're going to use Granny Apple Green. I think that works best because otherwise you're going to get the same color for your leaves as you do for your flower. So let's go ahead and hold that down. Let's get a good stamp for our flower. And then let's bring in our Granny Apple Green and just go over the leaves and the stem. Okay, now let's get our image on our paper. Hold it down for good contact, right? And look at that. Now, you can go over this in a little Granny Apple Green. We may do that, but look at the definition of that flower. Isn't it beautiful? Now, we are not finished with our flower yet because we're going to come in with some blends just to give it a little bit more color. And we are going to use light Calypso Coral to complement what we've already stamped. And we're just going to go over the shading just a little bit. Now, what's nice about this flower, oh my goodness, it's such a beautiful flower too, isn't it? What's nice about this is that they already have the shading for you. So you don't have to guess where to shade. We're going to go over that area and then we're going to come back in with the light. Oh yes, we have a little bit up here. And then we're going to come in with Pineapple Punch. And we are just going to use our blending tool and go over the entire flower. Now, I like to use the blending tool because it's quick. It runs right inside those petals and just very quickly gives you the coverage that you need. Now, on these, you might have to come in with the nib and go ahead and just color them because it's a very small area and your blending tool is too big, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that. You might want to come in with a little bit of Granny Apple Green and just give you a little bit of definition on that, right? Just to darken it up just a little bit. Okay. Now I think I need a little bit of the stem. And now what we're going to do is we are going to use our die cutting machine and get this die cut. And here we have it. Isn't that beautiful? Now, what I like to always do is add some wink of Stella, right? Because it really deepens the color. It intensifies that color, and it also adds sparkle. So we're just going to add some sparkle. And you know, I would like to take this time to invite you. If you haven't subscribed, we would love to have you part of our Sunflower family. You know, we give a little bit of inspiration on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we would love to have you join us. So let's see if this is enough sparkle. See, it kind of sparkles. We like that. Remember I said that we are actually going to stamp a background on this, the dry brush, but we will also be cutting out a circle. Let's go ahead and get our background on there. We can fix that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the card to the stamp, because on these large background stamps, it's a good idea to do that. And all you have to do is get it lined up and put it down just like that. And then take a piece of paper and just push it down so that you have good contact. And that way you know you're going to get all around the card. And look at that. Just perfect. We need to go ahead and think about where we're going to cut our circles out. And we need to leave enough space so that we can have our sentiment down here. Remember, we're going to have it about right there. So we're going to go up top just a little bit. And what I want to do is go ahead and take our mat that we're going to use on the inside and just very carefully tack it down just a little bit. So I'm just going to use a little bit of our tape runner at the top, a little bit at the bottom, because we will need to pull it off, but we need it positioned exactly where it has to be to cover up that circle. We are going to line this up where we need it. Just put a little sticky note there to hold it. Then we're going to line this one up. And you might as well cut them both at the same time, right? And let me cut these out and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we have it. Off the plate it comes, and we're just going to pop that out. Now remember, we tacked this on the back, so we're just going to pull that up because we just tacked it down very lightly. And that way we have it to go over our area that we don't want to see. Here's our little background that we're going to adhere our flower to. Look at that. So pretty. Now, before we add the flower to the front, let's go ahead and get the inside down, right? So we're going to use our Kalel to get it laid down. And I like the Kalel because it really does give you some wiggle room. This wet glue allows you to do just that if you need to. And we're going to go ahead and put down our white mat, which is a little smaller. Remember, all the dimensions will be listed on our blog. And any supplies that you want to purchase will be listed below our video. So here we have the card with the inside down. Now let's go ahead and stamp our inside of our card. Okay, such a pretty color, and this flower is so pretty. We're going to use thank you on the inside. Hold it for good contact. There we have that. Now we want to start putting together the front of our card. So the first thing you need to do is go ahead and set your flower up on dimensionals. And we know that it is going to go about right there. So you have the middle part of your circle to use dimensionals, and you can also put small ones on these leaves down here. So we will go ahead and get our dimensionals. We're going to go ahead and put about 4 to make sure we have it raised really well. And then we're going to bring in our baby dimensionals, our little ones, and we are going to just put them on the leaves. Now I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to take the back off of these. And we are going to put this right on top, just like that. Now we have our flower raised. And see, it's going to go on the inside right here. Now, how do you get that attached to this, right? You're going to take a small strip of your white paper and you're just going to lay it in the center. So you can use a tape runner if you want. You can use wet glue, but go ahead and make sure that you get it right in the center. So I'm going to turn mine over and just lay it right like that. That way I know I have it in the center. And we want it right here. We are going to just once again put some tape right in the center, because remember, you're also going to put that cover on there, right? So you need to get a little bit of extra tape on there. You can actually run it all along the top because that's where you're going to put the other mat. And let's just go ahead and make sure that gets lined up exactly right in the middle. Okay, I think that's it. Let's double check. Yes, there we have it. Now we're going to take our other mat and we are simply going to lay it right over the back of it. There we have it. Now take your scissors, and if you have a little extra, go ahead and snip that off. And look at that. When you open it up, you don't see part of the strip. Now we're going to do the front sentiment. Ink that up really well. Then we are going to put it right in the center of our 1 inch. And now we are going to use our lovely label punch to give us a beautiful end to this sentiment. So you just slip it in all the way. And it cuts off. Look at that end. Isn't that pretty? Once again, just slip it in. And it has several sizes, but the largest one is 1 inch. So we are going to go ahead and just kind of color the outside edges with our Mango Melody because it'll give it more depth. Let's go ahead and do that. Just go ahead and just barely go around the edges. And we are going to set this up right here on dimensionals. And then we are going to add some cute little dots. So to make sure we have good height, we're going to go ahead and add 3 so that the middle doesn't get punched in or fall flat when you send it in the mail, right? So I really think you need those 3 dimensionals on it. We'll put that right there. We are going to go to our Nouveau Crystal Drops. We love these. And we're going to pick up the kind of orange that you see in here, that Calypso Coral. And we are just going to put 3 dots right here. Now, you will have to let those dry. It takes about 15 minutes for those dots to dry. But look at this. Isn't this design pretty? Now, you could use other flowers, you know, anything you want for the middle part. I really like this design, though. And when you open it up, you have it covered up so you don't see it. And right here, we have it stamped. Your kindness is so appreciated. Thank you. So here's the one we made today. Here is the one we made using the Magenta Madness, one of the new in colors. What do you think about that? Which one do you like better? Do you like this crushed curry or Magenta Madness? Let me know in the comments below. But we also decided just to do something a little different. We just stamped this flower, and we will put all the materials listed below. We just stamped it, we raised it up, but look at the coloring on that. Isn't that gorgeous? And we used our label maker. We also used the stamp that they have for the leaf. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. We hope that you like this stamp set as much as we do. We really like the design of this card also because it gives you so many options to use with other stamp sets. Well, listen, go out, be safe, be healthy, be creative in your crafting, and we'll see you in the next video. And remember, please subscribe and join our Sunflower family. Bye-bye.